Hi guys, it's Grace Pamela of Summerana.com, and I'm going to show you a preview and tutorial of the Light and Airy preset collection available in our shop. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to show you is just the basics, kind of how they work. I am in Lightroom CC right now, and then I will also go over to Lightroom Classic in case you're working in that software instead. So just so you can get a little preview in both. Okay, so I already have my presets uploaded. To access them, all I do is click here, right there, and then you go all the way to the bottom and it'll say presets. And then I went to import and I imported my Light and Airy preset collection. So to see them, I'm going to go ahead and select this arrow here, and I have an image already. Okay, so the way that I have this set up is presets are known to be very hard to use because each image is so completely different. I wanted to make them compatible for most images. I'm not going to lie to you and say they'll work for every single image you ever possibly have, but I made them so that they can have the most potential that I possibly could in Lightroom, because I mostly edit heavy editing in Photoshop. So I wanted to show you that you can also do the bulk of your work, of course, in Lightroom, as most of you who are watching already might do that. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do for every single image is first work on the exposure. Of course, you can also go back after you apply like the base presets and adjust the exposure as well, and you might need to. So for the exposure, I set up the presets so you can kind of just go down to one where you like it. You don't want it to be overblown, but if you're working with a raw photo, which I highly recommend doing so, you'll be able to recover that anyways. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just select an exposure here, 40 plus, and you can see it's moving the slider over here. So I don't want you to just rely on only the presets. I also want you to see over here what you're working with, so that way in case you need to adjust it even more, you can do so, and you'll know how to. So this is the exposure. You can move it this way for making it more underexposed. You can move it to the right to add more exposure and light to your image. Okay, so once I have that, I'm going to go down to the base presets right here. Okay, so this is where it can get kind of tricky. These are amazing for some photos and then not so amazing for some photos. So for example, one might be way too cool for this type of image, or underexposed or overexposed, but you can tweak it and also know that it might work better in studio or in a flash setting at a wedding reception. So just wanted to let you know that it will be different, but you can tweak it and find one that works for you. So I'm just going to kind of go down, and you can see some of them look really pretty, some of them might not be bright enough for you, and you can go back and change that as much as you need to. So you can kind of go down and you can see, right now I'm just going to show you how the presets work, and then I will edit this image for you. And you can kind of go down and see some of them, like I said, won't look that great. Now, right now it's not really even showing an example. That's because you have to click off and then click back on. Lightroom has been so twitchy on me lately. Also, another thing that I wanted to tell you while I'm quickly going over these, you can kind of see. You can see now what I'm talking about by each one is so drastically different. I wanted to show you that. I also wanted to show you sometimes if you don't see that it's properly organized like this, you see the exposure plus all together and then exposure negative. So what you want to do is go up here to the three dots here, and you can select. It might be hidden partially. I think automatically mine was kind of already like that. So then if you select that, see it's hiding something that's not 100% compatible with what Lightroom thinks is not, or whatever, but obviously that wasn't even really one that would be compatible because it's just a breaker here. So you can see now it brought it back. So in case you're wondering where some presets are or why it's not properly organized, that might be what you need to do, is just select this. Okay, so I'm going to go back down. So I showed you the base, and I'm just going to go ahead and select, let's do Forest Light or Some of them are really pretty. Okay, so I'm going to select Forest Light. And I also wanted to show you, see it got really dark in this image. So when that happens, all you really need to do is go back up to your exposure, and then you can make it brighter again, depending on what you would like. Okay, so now that I have my base, I have my thing, I only had to press 2 presets, which is pretty cool about Lightroom. Photoshop, you have to go much more into it, which a lot of people like, including me, editing it more fully. But I also made it so that we can edit it mostly in Lightroom as well, and I will show you that the best that I can, including opacity, how you can adjust the opacity. That's in Lightroom Classic, and I will show you that. It's just like in Photoshop. Okay, so now we have our color presets. You can adjust the coolness, the warmth, and again, if you are looking over here, you can find, it would be in color, you can see the slider moving. I highly suggest watching that, so again, you can adjust it even more how you would like it. You can do auto white balance, which I kind of like for when we're, kind of rushing and you really want to find the best bet that you can do. Also, if you're not finding that you can't figure out the white balance, you can select this drop down, and sometimes it'll give you more options for like flash and all of that stuff. Also, another thing you can do is grab this this eyedropper here, and you can select an area, mostly a gray, white, or dark area. That would work. And you can select it and kind of select around to get a white balance that works for you. Okay, so now my presets went away when I did that, so all you have to do is select your presets back again. Again, there's more options here for color. You can add more color, creamier skin tones, daylight, faded greens. Now these can kind of mess with your skin tones, and I know that's another big complaint with presets. So I wanted to show you how you can adjust that also. So let's say I did the faded greens, but it made my skin too red. Now in Lightroom Classic, I did make some adjustment brushes to also help with that, but I'm going to select that just for learning purposes here. You can go down to Color Mixer, and you can adjust the skin more if you would like. So you can select color, and you can select the target adjustment here, and select whatever color you do or don't want or want to adjust the color for, and then you can drag it back and forth here. You see how it's getting less red here? Another thing you can do is go to Hue Saturation, and also Luminance is a favorite. So again, select this target here, select an area on your image, and you can do the same thing. Kind of make it a little bit brighter. You don't want to do it too much. So those are ways that you can further adjust or fix your skin exposure. Okay, so another thing, we'll keep going down here. So you can play with these things, warm up skin tones. Again, it might not work for every image, but some images it will work amazingly on. So that option is there just in case. Okay, so you can add on grain, texture, and sharpness, black and white, smooth, smoother. I made a preset, a brush that does this for you, just in case you don't want to apply it to your whole image. So for example, it might not work for this one because it does affect the whole image, including them. So you might like that look. It is kind of like a painterly look in a way, especially if you add on the dodging and burning, but just be careful with the smoothing. And then if you don't like the blend correction, which some of the presets use, you can disable that. You can level it out, or you can reset the whole image. So there I showed you how the presets are set up and how they work and how you can tweak them. The tweakings are pretty much the exact same in Lightroom Classic, but I'm going to go over that as well. So one thing that I was really, something that I do a lot, because you can't get the full impact of Photoshop. Like right now, I love the image the way that it is. I did edit it a little different, just so I because I was just kind of breezing through and showing you how it works. But one thing that I wanted to show you, a nice way in Lightroom to get a more powerful impact without having to go into Photoshop and without overexposing and blowing out your image and overdoing it. One way that I really like to do it is I like to edit it in Lightroom with the presets. Just apply a preset and save it, and then re-upload it into Lightroom. You will have to rename the file because it won't re-upload the same photo, and add another preset onto it. It's really fun to mix and match the presets, or you can do the same one and you'll get more of a powerful impact as well. So that is our tutorial in Lightroom CC for how these presets work. I'm going to go ahead and go over into Lightroom Classic. Now this is how I edited the image in Lightroom earlier. I just did forest light, and then I'll show you really quick. I probably would have to reset the whole image, but I basically just did forest light without all the tweakings that I did. But anyways, I saved it, I flattened it, I saved it, and then I uploaded it in Lightroom Classic just so I could show you how Lightroom Classic works and also what I mean by adding another preset on top of this preset. Okay, so here I am. Now this is set up a little differently. Now my presets are over on the left side. Most of you who are familiar with Lightroom, you're familiar with the Lightroom Classic. So I won't delve into that too much, but you can see all of our tools are over here instead. You still have your targets, they're right here. You can select it and drag up and down. The luminance for the skin, that's all there, and here's your sliders for the main editing here. Okay, so that's all over here, and we have our presets over here. So now I'm going to go over to forest light. I wanted to apply it again on this image. See, I love the impact that it has when you add a duplicate preset. It is, however, a little too impactful, I think. So what I like to do in Lightroom Classic is I like to use a plugin for Lightroom. It's only $10, but you can also use the free version. I did purchase the $10 one so I could show you without it telling me that I have the free version. But I also want to support fellow, business owners and stuff. So I am going to show you how to use that. So you go to File, and then you go to Plugin Extras, and here we have our plugins to add layers to Lightroom, and then down here we have the fader. I love this one for presets. It's very nice to have, especially when you want to add more of an impact. So you're going to want to go to Folder and select the Light and Airy preset collection, and then you're going to want to go to Preset, and here you can select the preset that you want to add. So I'm going to go ahead and select the forest light. So here I have my opacity down, and I'm going to go up here to a level that I like. There we go. It's still a little strong, but you can tweak it as you go. Okay, I'm going to select OK. And there we go. So now I'm going to go down into my presets and kind of tweak it a little more. I'm going to go ahead and select Save Highlights because we're getting kind of blown out here. And I think that's all I really want to do for that. Now I want to show you how to use the adjustment brushes. So to use your brushes, I have another video that shows you how to upload them. So you're going to go ahead and select this brush here, and you're going to go ahead and go to New Brush here. And then if you go to the effect right here and select it, you'll see all of the brushes that you uploaded. So here we have Adjust the Coolness, Warmth, and this is selective areas, so this will not apply to your whole image unless you want it to. So I'm going to go ahead and select Reduce Saturation because his ear is looking a little red. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to zoom in a bit. Ooh, not all that way. Okay. So you'll see if you use your bracket keys on your tool, your keyboard, you can select the left bracket to make it smaller and your right to make it bigger. So I'm going to go ahead and just select the ear where I want to do it. I'm going to have to zoom in a little bit more. Okay, and then you can make it bigger. So now you see I can select just one area and paint over that. So it's still a little red. So if you see right here, it made the saturation a little smaller, lower. So you can tweak it a little even more if you need to. Okay. And now if you want to add another area, so let's say I want to do his arm too, but I don't want it that low of a saturation. Then I'm going to go ahead and select New, and I'm going to add another one. Now it's giving me another tab here, a little dot. Now if you want to go back in and you want to edit this part again, you can just select that dot, and then you'll see right here, if you hover over it, it'll show you all the parts that you did already edit, so you can see that. So that way you can go back in and tweak it again if you want to. Okay, so that's how the adjustment brushes work. And you can also soften skin, whiten, that could be for, actually I'm going to use it for his sleeve here. I didn't select New. So I'm going to select New and then whiten, add another dot. This is nice for some color cast that might be going on. Okay, so now I'm going to go to New and I'm going to select Recover Highlight, just because some areas are a little blown out. And again, you can see where that's affecting it. Okay, and then when you're done, you can select Done right here. And then you can see our image. So again, you can go down in here and tweak it more, but I think I covered pretty much how to do that. I'm going to go ahead and show you another image. So this is a studio image, and I wanted to show you, some of them might come off really orange, and you'll see why I had some of them with very low, a cool color balance. So you can see some of them look really nice in studio. So some of them look amazing for outdoors, and some of them look amazing for studio, and some of them look great on both. It really just depends on which one you are using. Okay, so I'm going to show you, this one actually would work really well. Some of them down here also would, but I'm going to show you Mesmerize because it's still not the color that I want. So I wanted to show you again how you can tweak that. I'm going to go ahead and go to Luminance here and select the slider. And you can see you can edit the skin a little bit more in the areas. Okay, and again, you can also select your white balance. Click right here. You can select around till you get one that you like. I think I like that one, and then you can go in and adjust the shadows more if needed, if it's a little heavy or whatnot. Okay, so there is a quick edit of that one that I just wanted to show you. I would normally go in more and do the skin and the eyes, but I wanted to show you on another image. Okay, so this one, I wanted to show you how we can edit her skin and her eyes a bit. So first I'm going to go up to Base. I'm going to select one that works. I'm going to select this one. Her skin is very orange. Like I said, some of these presets will mess with the skin tones. Unfortunately, that's just part of some of the presets. There's no way to avoid it because I can't get the pretty greens here and the oranges. But that's okay because that's why I'm showing you how to adjust it so you don't have to always worry about that. And it only takes 2 seconds once you know how to do it. Okay, I think that's pretty good for now for just a quick trial video so I can show you how to do it. Okay, so that's how I wanted to do that, and I also wanted to show you, I'm going to go back up to my brushes here. I'm going to select New, and I'm going to select Reduce Saturation. I'm just going to tweak some of the areas here that are a little oversaturated. Okay, I'm going to select New. I'm going to select Open Shadows, and I'm going to zoom in here. I'm going to open the shadows in your eyes here. And you can see it's selecting here. It's adjusting the slider here, so you can adjust it how you like. One thing I would suggest is going back out and doing this, just so you're not overdoing it. And you can also, when you're done, you can also add another one on top of that if needed. Again, go to your brush and New. I'm just going to kind of select it here. Open Shadows. And I'm just quickly showing you. Okay, so I'm going to go to New. I'm going to select Whiten. Now, if you want this to be a little lighter, so you notice how it's white, but you want it to be a little brighter, you can also up the whites if you need it. I did not add that because I didn't want it to be overbearing, and I also wanted it to be useful for other things too, not just eyes. But I wanted to show you. Also, if it's a little too white, you can bring it up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go to New. Also, another thing is important to know how to use. It's a spot removal tool. So I'm going to show you that really quick too. So there's a spot here in your cheek and a couple little spots. So what you're going to want to do is adjust the bracket on your keyboard and select the area, and you can move it around. See, if I move it up here, it's sampling from this spot in this little circle and then putting it where you selected. So you want to select a similar area that's not blemished. Sometimes Lightroom does a pretty good job, but not all the time, so you might need to tweak it. Okay, there we go. It's not perfect, but we have that now, and you know how to do that. Okay, so also I'm going to go back up to the brushes, and I'm going to select New, and I'm going to do soft. I'm going to do softer skin just so you can. The soft one isn't as harsh, but you can also adjust it. And again, this is not going to be perfect. Just trying to show you how to use it. You want to avoid any of the detail parts like eyes and nose, nostrils. Also, don't just do the face because it would be very noticeable. Don't forget the rest of the body as well. And again, if this is too strong, you can adjust it. Okay, so just a quick example, and again, you can adjust it right here so it's not so strong. I'm going to go to new and see if there's anything else I want to add. I might sharpen the eyes. I think they're already pretty much sharp, but I will go in and do it again just so I can show you. So you can sharpen the details more. Sometimes I like to go in and get the details like the gritty sand and stuff. That might be an area you might want to get with the healing brush. Okay, so that's how you use the adjustment brushes for this collection. Now you can see we have our image here. I think I might actually add one more thing, the cover highlights in her sweater. Okay, I'm going to show you, here's the before and after. Okay, so I think I pretty much went over everything that consists of this Lightroom preset and adjustment brush collection for Light and Airy. As you can see, you can make them as light and airy as you want, or you can adjust the exposure and some of the settings in the presets to make it not as light and airy, or you can even technically go for a moodier look as well. They're very versatile, and they will look different for each image. I hope I showed some pretty good examples, and if you have any questions or you're struggling or anything like that, you can always let us know anytime at support@summerana.com. I hope you learned lots, and I hope you will enjoy the preset collection and adjustment brush collection. All right, have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.